Hello, okay, let's continue from where we left off. We have another image of honor in the interlude where Odysseus pauses his story and the queen of the Phaeacians, Queen Arete, speaks to her fellow citizens, her fellow Phaeacians. This is on page 168, lines 345 to 351. She says, "He," referring to Odysseus, "he is my guest. Moreover, though each of you shares in that honor." And here we have an idea of the life of honor has to do with treating your guests well, right? The life of honor is one in which you treat your guests well, or if you are a guest, you treat your host well, no matter who they are. In this sense, the Cyclops lack honor because they reject or ignore all the customs of hospitality. So how do you honor your guests? Well, there are three things that come out in the text. Don't send them off too hastily. Okay, let them stay, feed them, entertain them, show them a warm bed, give them plenty of rest and relaxation, make them feel at home. Don't rush them out of your house. Don't stint them. Don't stint your gifts to those in need. Don't be stingy. Be generous with your gifts, especially to strangers in need. And then finally, don't keep them too long, right? Let them go when the time is right. We see this in this book, but we also see it in other contexts where, keeping someone in your house too long is a sign of inhospitality. It's dishonorable, right? So again, honor has something to do with hospitality. That's interesting. Moving up to the next page in the notes, okay, there is a sense in which Odysseus cannot return to his house, also with honor, unless he returns with glorious gifts, something to show for his troubles getting home. Right? This is another point that comes out here in his conversation with the king and queen of Phaeacia. Right? This idea that he can't go home honorably without gifts, so they have to give him many gifts in order for him to have an honorable return. He has to be able to show something for his troubles. Then he goes back to telling his story, and the king Alcinous asks him to tell about his comrades, the heroes of the Trojan War, who died. I mean, Odysseus was at least lucky not to die at war. He's on his way home, albeit a big struggle, but he survived. Achilles, the greatest hero, did not. Right, the mightiest of the Achaeans, who was honored like a god when he was alive. Right, so here we have the idea of honor being tied to a godlike life. The life of honor is the godlike life, the life that is most like the gods. And Achilles is a model here. Right, he lived a godlike life. He was honored like a god. And so Odysseus speaks to the ghost of Achilles and says, "You shouldn't lament your death because now you rule the dead with might, and you were honored like a god when you were alive." But Achilles will have nothing to do with that, right? He says he would trade all of his honor as a war hero and his powerful reputation among the dead for the life of a field laborer if he could only be alive again. Right, that's on page 172 and 173, his famous response to Odysseus. "Don't try to sell me on death, Odysseus. I'd rather be a hired hand back up on earth, slaving away for some poor dirt farmer, than lord it over all these withered dead." That's the ghost of Achilles speaking to Odysseus. The only thing then that calms his mind and gives him joy in death is the news of his son's life. Odysseus tells him about his son, who is living a glorious life, just like his father. His son is living what you might call an honorable life. Well, how is this measured? The son of Achilles, Neoptolemus, I have trouble with names here. Neoptolemus. He is the first to speak in groups. His word is trusted by others and is never off the mark. He's killed many suitors he's killed many soldiers in combat with valor. And he's very handsome. He's the most handsome of the Greeks. He doesn't show fear in the face of danger, and he's earned his share of the loot. These are all qualities of Achilles' son that mark him as a kind of heroic, honorable figure, right? Something to do with his speech. His word is trusted. He speaks the truth, and people trust his word. And he's the first to speak in groups. He has performed well in battle with valor, killed many soldiers. He's very handsome. He doesn't show fear when he's in danger, and he has won treasure, right? He has treasure that he carries with him, the spoils of victory. That's a mark or a sign of honor. Okay, that's the end of book 11, or the end of what I'm going to say about book 11. In the final video, I'll say some things about book 12.